Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this will change the way you understand women for the rest of your life. Most men spend years trying to impress, please, conquer, and still remain alone and frustrated. They believe the problem is appearance, money, or height. They are wrong. The problem is much deeper and at the same time much simpler than you imagine. Women don't choose men by logic. They choose by sensation, by instinct, by something that happens in the body before it ever passes through the mind. That instinct responds to specific behavioral patterns that most men completely ignore, or worse, do exactly the opposite. While you try to be nice, she feels boredom. While you try to show interest, she feels suffocated. While you try to prove your worth, she has already decided you have none. Not because you're a bad guy, but because you're communicating the wrong things in the wrong way at the wrong time. David Buss, one of the greatest evolutionary psychology researchers in the world, spent decades studying what women really desire in men. In his book, The Evolution of Desire, he analyzed more than 10,000 people across 37 different cultures. Do you know what he discovered? That there are universal patterns of attraction. It doesn't matter if the woman is Brazilian, Japanese, American, or African. The female brain evolved to detect the same signals. Signals of competence, signals of emotional stability, signals that this man is capable of protecting, leading, and building something solid. These signals are not about what you say. They are about what you transmit without realizing it. This is exactly what this video will reveal to you. 5 characteristics that sound crazy at first, but that every woman responds to with desire. They are not tricks. They are not manipulation. They are behavioral patterns that activate something primitive in the female nervous system. Something she doesn't control, doesn't rationalize, and often doesn't even understand, but feels. And when she feels this coming from you, everything changes. The way she looks at you, the way she responds to your messages, the way she wants to be near you. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to show you is not generic advice. This is science, this is reality, and this will give you an advantage that 90% of men will never have. Chapter 1. The unshakable emotional presence. Have you ever noticed how some women lose interest out of nowhere? One moment everything flows and suddenly she cools off. Her replies get shorter, the enthusiasm fades. You're left replaying every word you said, trying to locate the mistake that changed everything. The answer is almost always somewhere you never looked. It wasn't what you said, it was what you demonstrated without realizing it. Emotionally reactive men send a clear signal to the female brain: fragility, instability, and an inability to handle pressure. This shows up in details you don't even notice. Shifting your mood when she delays replies. Explaining yourself when she provokes you. Anxiety leaks through when you feel you're losing control of the interaction. Women detect this in milliseconds, not because they're cruel, but because instinct evolved to test emotional solidity. She needs to know if you break easily, if you crumble when real difficulty appears. Research from the University of Zurich in 2019 confirmed this. Women associate low emotional reactivity with higher reliability. The man who stays calm under pressure activates something powerful in her nervous system. Not fear, security. And security, for a woman's instinct, is one of the strongest aphrodisiacs that exist. But don't confuse emotional presence with coldness. This isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending nothing affects you. The magnetic man feels everything, but chooses how to respond instead of reacting automatically. He processes internally before reacting externally. He observes emotions rather than being controlled by them. This is mastery. This is maturity. This is what makes a woman think, this man is different. Notice how you react when she delays replies or behaves unpredictably. Does your chest tighten? Does your mind race? Do you feel the urge to justify yourself, seek validation, or regain control? If yes, you're giving away your power. You're showing her your emotional state depends on her behavior. Instinctively, something inside her shuts off. Emotional presence is built in small moments, in the pause before reacting, in holding silence when pressure appears. You don't fake this. You train it until it becomes part of who you are. And when it does, women feel you don't need their approval to remain whole. And that's exactly what makes them want to give it. Chapter 2. The Unshakable Purpose. Let me ask you a direct question. If a woman disappeared from your life today, what would remain at the center of your existence tomorrow morning? If you hesitated to answer, you just identified one of the biggest killers of attraction. Men without purpose orbit women like planets around a sun. She becomes the gravitational center of his life. And the moment that happens, something in the female instinct begins to reject. She doesn't want a man who lives for her. She wants a man who lives for something beyond her. Something that existed before she arrived and will continue regardless of what happens between you. This isn't coldness or absence, it's structure. It's the silent proof that you are a complete man, not a man waiting to be completed. David Buss's research revealed a consistent pattern across cultures. Women are drawn to men with direction and ambition. This doesn't mean money or status, it means movement. A man building something, walking towards something, evolving. The stagnant man, even with looks or resources, transmits paralysis. And the female instinct detects and rejects it. From an evolutionary perspective, purpose signals the ability to generate resources, protect, and build a future. She doesn't analyze this logically. Something inside her responds when she feels you are in motion. That energy activates reward circuits in her nervous system. She wants to be close to it, to be part of it. The man with options is attractive. The man desperate for validation is not. When a man lives for a woman, she feels suffocated, even if he never says it out loud. The weight of being someone's entire reason for existence creates unconscious rejection. But the man with his own path removes that weight. He doesn't depend on her to feel complete. And that freedom is exactly what makes her want to join what he's building. Before continuing, I need to tell you something important. If what I'm showing you is resonating, there's something you should know. Inside the seduction code, I reveal an attraction mechanism you won't find anywhere else online. This isn't theory or generic advice. It's a system built on real behavioral psychology. It teaches you how to activate specific triggers in the female mind that create desire almost automatically. Men who apply this method report noticeable changes in days, not months. The link is in the description or the pinned comment. Now let's continue. Chapter 3. The 3 silent characteristics that generate obsession. Some things are never said, they are demonstrated. These silent traits separate the man women desire from the man they keep as a backup. They change how she looks at you, how she behaves around you, and how she thinks about you when you're not there. What I'm about to show you now are 3 characteristics that operate in silence. You don't announce them, you transmit them. And when you do, something shifts in her posture, her gaze, her attention. The first is genuine scarcity. Research in persuasion shows that what is perceived as scarce automatically gains value. This applies to products, opportunities, and people. The man who is always available, who replies instantly, who has nothing more important to do, sends a dangerous signal. He communicates that he has no options, that his life is empty enough for her to be the priority before she's earned it. The female instinct translates this as low value. But genuine scarcity is not playing games or delaying replies on purpose. It comes from actually having a full life with commitments, goals, and priorities that matter to you. When your scarcity is real, you don't need to fake it. It simply exists and she feels it. The second characteristic is mastery of eye contact. How you look conveys more than words ever could. A study from the University of Aberdeen in 2011 showed sustained eye contact significantly increases perceived attractiveness. But it's not just looking, it's how you look. The insecure man looks away. The needy man looks with desperation. The confident man looks with calm presence, silently saying he doesn't need her, but chooses to be there. This gaze creates tension, and tension is fuel for attraction. It's rare, and what's rare awakens curiosity and desire. The third characteristic is the ability to lead without asking permission. A study from the University of British Columbia in 2011 found women rate men showing dominance and pride as more attractive than submissive happiness. Leading doesn't mean arrogance. It means making decisions, choosing the date location, guiding the conversation, taking responsibility for the moment. Women unconsciously test this. When you accept responsibility naturally, she feels she can trust you, and something inside her relaxes. These three characteristics, genuine scarcity, mastery of eye contact, and leading without asking, are not announced. They are lived. When you incorporate them naturally into your daily behavior, women won't be able to explain why they feel drawn to you. They will simply feel it. And that feeling is what truly matters. Conclusion: everything I've shown points in one direction. There's no trick, no magic phrase, no shortcut to instant transformation. What exists is a process, a path of internal construction that changes how you see yourself and consequently how women perceive you. Emotional presence, unshakable purpose, genuine scarcity, mastery of eye contact, and the ability to lead are not isolated techniques. They are expressions of a solid masculine identity, of a man who did the work most men refuse to do. Carl Jung, one of history's greatest psychologists, spoke of individuation, the journey of becoming who you really are, integrating shadows and fears instead of ignoring them. A man who doesn't understand his unconscious projects his insecurities onto relationships, work, and social interactions, sabotaging what he desires most. You push away what you want because you operate from wounds you've never faced directly. This is the truth most men avoid. It's easier to blame women, to say they only want rich, handsome, famous men. It's more comfortable to believe the game is unfair than to admit you haven't yet become the type of man who awakens genuine desire. While you remain in victim mentality, nothing changes. You repeat the same mistakes, expecting different results, and grow more frustrated. The man who breaks this cycle accepts an uncomfortable responsibility. He stops waiting for the world to be fair and starts working with reality as it is. He understands attraction is not negotiable. You don't convince a woman to desire you. Desire is an involuntary response to who you are, not to what you try to appear to be, but to the depth of your being. With this clarity, he begins to build brick by brick, day by day, until the change becomes irreversible. Part of you wants an easier path, a secret formula that solves everything effortlessly. This part will keep searching and keep being disappointed. But another part, tired of mediocrity, ready to face real discomfort, will embrace transformation. The seduction code was made for that part. It teaches a complete system, not pieces or theories. This system reveals how the female mind really works and how to activate attraction triggers most men don't even know exist. These are techniques you won't find anywhere else because they were developed from years of behavioral psychology study and real-world application. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. The decision is yours. Now answer me honestly, of the 5 characteristics I showed today, which one do you know you need to develop first? Don't choose the one that seems easiest. Choose the one that challenges you the most. Because usually, that's where the most important work lies, and where true transformation begins. Emotional presence, unshakable purpose, genuine scarcity, mastery of eye contact, ability to lead. These are not tricks or shortcuts. They are habits and behaviors that communicate deep, undeniable masculine presence. They are the foundation of attraction, not because of what you say, but because of who you are. Becoming this man requires facing discomfort, mastering yourself, and building a life that naturally draws women toward you.